The state of Oklahoma has reduced its incarceration numbers for both men and women over the last couple of years, thanks to decriminalization and mass commutations. But laws that target women remain unchanged. In 2018, Oklahoma was tied with Mississippi for the country's second highest incarceration rate for men. Louisiana was number 1. The state dropped to 3rd place in 2019. Female incarceration was even worse. In 2018, Oklahoma had the highest incarceration rate for women in the country, 152 per 100,000 people, more than twice the national average. The next year, Oklahoma dropped to the number 2 spot, behind Idaho, but still more than double the national average. That was after the sentences of 500 imprisoned men and women were commuted in 2019. Following a retroactive decision by voters that reduced the penalties for felony drug possession and theft. Other laws, including one proven to punish women harsher than men, stayed the same. A local advocate for justice-involved women tells VNN she made it her mission to find out why.
I'm asking this question across the state. Why is that? Why does the woman get a stronger sentence?
Rhonda Bear is the founder of She Brews Coffee House. Bear says she started She Brews so community members would be able to get to know justice-involved women more personally and discover they are more than just their criminal pasts.
They could be your sister, your aunt, your neighbor. They would made mistakes.
She tells us she believes criminal labels often make people sound worse than what they've done, like a child neglect charge with a possible 10-year sentence for a mom leaving their child in the car to grab some groceries when extreme heat or cold isn't a factor.
Is it a bad idea? Yes. Is that an extreme criminal behavior? Sometimes I don't think so.
Instead, Bear believes Oklahoma's justice system disproportionately punishes people living in poverty, those forced to make difficult decisions to support their family on a daily basis.
The rich do not go to prison, right? They may go to federal for tax evasion, but they don't go to state prisons.
Bear says the average prison stay for women is 10 months. No employment, no income, no money to bond out. Their children in state custody. Since public defender offices are overloaded with cases, the end goal is to move cases through and out of the system as quickly as possible, usually ending in a plea deal instead of a lengthy trial. And if the charge is failure to protect from abuse, a mom can find herself with a harsher sentence than the actual abuser. In 2020, a 60 Minutes investigation found more than a dozen women received harsher punishments than men who abused their kids because they failed to protect them. Meanwhile, half of those women were actually victims of abuse themselves. That same investigation found that 41 women were in prison for failure to protect, compared to just 16 men.
Why does the woman get 25 years and the abuser receives 2 years in the county? Because this is truth and this has happened. And the response I have gotten more than once is, women are born to nurture and men are born to hunt and kill. So when a man is more violent, it's really less criminal because it's more of his nature. But since the woman is born to nurture, and when she fails to nurture or protect, it's actually more criminal than his abuse.
Bear idolized her father growing up. It didn't matter that his friends were hitmen in the mob. Then she grew up to choose crime and drugs over her kids, just like he did. It was the impact her lifestyle had on her children that eventually led Bear to take the right path and carve out a path for other mothers to take. Bear tells us their program has a success rate between 75 and 80%. Over the last 14 years, just 10% of the women they have helped return to prison. She says more often their mothers relapse on drugs, but they are helped back into recovery.
We house you, we give you mentors, we teach you finances, we teach you all kinds of options. We partner with educational institutions to help you get educated. And we walk with you, and what we find is, when we invest in a life, it earns dividends. Okay? We see lasting results.
All for the cause of saving Oklahoma children.
How long does it continue? And who will help break the cycle? because I do think women have been given excessive sentences. And I do believe that children are the ones that pay the price.
This story is part of Community Voices, a new video series designed to cover the full story of crime news and emphasize the narrative of the community when dealing with crime and other community issues.